Yay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Sunday, June 19th. It's great to see you all. Thank you for joining us for another exciting recording of the Attractions podcast.
Yes, thank you for joining us on a Sunday and
Yeah,
holidays. It's a lot.
appreciate it. Juneteenth, Father's Day. It's a big weekend. Good weekend to, depending on where you are in the country, either hang out outdoors or if you live in Florida like me, hide inside from the 103
Oh,
index heat. It's brutal out there. Let's
it
just
better
say
go
hi
down.
to everyone. Say hi to everyone in the chat real quickly. Jonathan, first in at 6:43 this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Robert, good morning to you too. Uh, sorry, and Wiser has COVID. So sorry to hear that. Hope you
Better.
feel better real soon. Michael, always joining us. Great to see you as always. Thanks for giving a shout out to all of the dads out there. Blossom and Terry in Derek's corner again. Hello, folks. And Vince Lamb wishing a happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth. And oh, it is World Martini Day. I'm still working on my cup of coffee. It's a little early for me to have a martini, but maybe later. Shaken, not stirred.
Yes. Oh wow. I did a story on this too, and I totally forgot it was today.
Brian Sager. 24 years ago, Mulan was released. 7 years ago, Inside Out was released, and 13 years ago, Toy Story 3 being 13 years old. That seems like just yesterday.
Really.
Wow. Wow. So thank you all for joining us. And since we've got a few people in the chat, I think we are just going to go right ahead and kick this party off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 144 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by Destinations with Character Travel. I'm Seth.
I'm Carly.
And we are here, as always, to talk to you about all the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, Globe Traveler,
Yes.
where have you been this week?
I am actually in New York for the holidays, visiting
Awesome.
family, going into Manhattan tomorrow. Very excited. I love to be able to get in there when I'm home. So I'm excited.
It's been way too long since I've been in New York. Anything specifically on your agenda in the city?
Really? We just try to eat all the food that we missed. It's
Oh,
really just like a snack crawl. And then I think we're going to see a production of something, but we're just going to wing it and
yep.
just the day, go by.
TKTS is the way to go.
Yep,
I'm a
yep,
big fan of just seeing what you can get for half price. Roll the dice and you never know.
exactly. And I just miss Broadway so much that I don't even care. I just want to see live performers. Give me
Amen.
anything.
Oh,
What about you?
enjoy. I am literally chilling in the air conditioning today. I made one trip out to a theme park this week. I went to Universal for half a day, and it took it out of me like you would not believe. I just, I lived here a long time. I'm used to the heat. You kind of develop that desert animal technique of like sprinting from shady spot to shady spot. It didn't even help this week. It was just ugly. But
Wild.
I did get to go and do something really cool. Spooky Empire's Camp Spookyween, their Summerween summer event is happening this week. It's going on, wrapping up today, and that's over on iDrive at the Wyndham Hotel. And I got to go to their kickoff event, which was a behind-the-scenes panel discussion with the creatives who make the Halloween Horror Nights event at Universal. And we got a little sneak peek of some stuff that is happening this year. So if you want absolutely no spoilers about Halloween Horror Nights 31, cover your ears or shut off the recording right now. But here's a couple little bits that they let slip. The Halloween house that we are getting is based on the 1978 original. It's not based on one of the remakes or the reboots, but it is not going to be an exact copy of the Halloween house that they did several years ago. It's a whole new take on the material. And the other thing that we found out is that the classic monsters that they are doing, the mummy that is featured in that is not going to be Imhotep. It is Carcass. It's the mummy that was featured in the sequels back in the 40s and 50s. But that is being put in the Parade Warehouse, and they say that's going to be one of the biggest and longest mazes that they've done in that spot. So yeah, we got to see some pictures. Really great art design going on there. Very excited for this year's Halloween Horror Nights.
See, I'm ready, and it's crazy. It's only June. I'm already planning what tickets I'm buying, when I'm going. Like, these are all the wheels that are in motion now, as I'm sure they are for so many people. So any little nugget of information you can let me know. I love it.
I knew there's a new speculation map that was released. These are the unofficial fan maps compiling the rumors together. You gotta plan ahead. If you're going to book a hotel room, I would jump on that soon, because especially like Cabana Bay and Endless Summer, those hotel rooms are going to book up. Start planning your Halloween now, because it's coming up fast. Okay, well, without any further ado, I think it's time for us to jump right into the news in the queue. All right, we are going to start off with the worst kept secret at Universal Orlando. Lots of rumors, lots of permits, lots of construction walls, and now it is official. Universal Orlando will be opening its first ever themed escape room based on Jurassic World and Back to the Future, coming in the not too distant future to City Walk.
Yes, this is absolutely incredible news. We knew it already. We've seen the permits, the maps. We've seen it, and it's officially coming later this year to City Walk. If you're familiar with City Walk, you have the Mexican restaurant, then there's the bathrooms, and then there was the club, The Groove. And so that closed, and this is going into that space.
Yeah, it's right around kind of between Antojitos and Pat O'Brien's, and that back curve. Now we know that there's going to be two themes. There's going to be a Jurassic World and a Back to the Future. I've heard hints that the Back to the Future might be you're exploring Doc's laboratory. I actually had thought that the dinosaur one might be themed to Jurassic Park to give it that vintage classic look, but it does look like they're going with the modern Jurassic World theming. They're using a picture of the Indominus Rex as opposed to the T-Rex in the branding. And also,
this is exciting. I mean, I am mostly excited because they have said it is from the same designers as Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
So that was music to my ears. They are the most incredibly talented people in immersive entertainment. And so even if you're not a traditional escape room person, this is wild.
So Universal's dabbled in escape rooms over the years. Years ago at Halloween Horror Nights, they had an upcharge thing called the Repository, which was a combination of a virtual reality experience and a simple escape room. And they've also years ago had a promotional thing tied to a TV special called The Dig, and it was a little kind of mini escape room that was really more of a PR thing. This is their first time doing a permanent, fully fleshed out escape room experience. We don't have any details yet about pricing. The general going rate for escape rooms is somewhere between $30 and $50. I wouldn't be surprised if Universal charged a premium up to maybe $60 per person. But that's just pure speculation.
Right. It's going to be interesting as far as capacity and flow of people goes.
The Groove was a fairly substantial space. It had 2 levels. It had the red room, the blue room. It had lots of lots of little corners in there. So I'm curious whether it's going to just be 2 escape rooms from now, and then maybe opportunity to build more additional themes, or if maybe there'll be 2 copies of each escape room so that they have more capacity. Because it does, if an escape room takes an hour, you
Right.
really can only book it about every 90 minutes, because it does take a certain amount of time. You got to go in there and clean it. You've got to restore everything and reset it. So yes, it will be interesting how they manage capacity and crowd flow. Because I know I'm going to sign up. I'm going to want to
Yes.
do it at least once.
You are like a
Yeah,
professional game roomer, though,
well,
because you've done
I've
so many recently.
I have, and I got to thank Andy Hayes and the folks at Attractions Magazine. We've been on a tear lately,
Yeah.
checking out new escape rooms around town. We just did one this past week. Did 2 of them actually over at near Old Town in Kissimmee.
Ooh.
And it was fun because that one, they've got a family-owned independent. A lot of these places are chains, and they're sort of kind of churning out the same product. I like to find the ones that are little standalones, really someone's passion project. And they put a lot of great detail into that one. But obviously, when you've got an intellectual property, that's the one thing that no one else has had.
Right.
Escapology has a Star Trek license, and I did that in Vegas, and I didn't think they did a very good job with it. This, I have faith that they are going to put the kind
Same.
of detail, special effects, the theming that they put into the haunted houses and the attractions into this. My one dream, if you're out there listening, Universal designers, I want that the Back to the Future, whatever it is, whatever the storyline is, I want the big finale, because all of these have to have a payoff. There's got to be some sort of big finale to
Yes.
pay it off. And I think that the finale for Back to the Future should be when you finally solve it, a big garage door opens and you get to see the DeLorean sitting there, and you can sit and take pictures in the DeLorean.
Yes.
That's what I want the payoff to be.
Then we'll never get to do the escape room ever again.
Because people will be breaking parts off
Yeah.
of it, I'm sure. And I also want the finale for the Jurassic World to be someone getting eaten by a dinosaur. But that probably is not so repeatable. That's a one-time only. All right. Well, I'm just going to check real quick. Do we have anyone in the chat with any opinions on no. Oh, Andy is
Yes.
Andy is in the chat. Yes. Andy's calling dibs. Yes, Andy, I promise that when we go and check this out for the first time, I want you on my team because you are definitely an expert at these by now. All right. Moving on. I could probably talk about that all day, but let's talk instead about D23. The big D23 Expo for 2022 is coming to Anaheim, and it is going to feature a Walt Disney Archives exhibition called Step in Time, which is going to take you through 100 years of Disney company history with some really neat artifacts.
Yes, I'm very excited for this exhibit. I think now, besides Walt's plane, this is probably what I'm most excited about seeing
Mhm.
at D23. I mean, the Walt Disney Archives is just absolutely incredible. And if you've ever been to their exhibits, you could just lose yourself in them for hours. And this is definitely going to be that exact same thing. Becky Klein, the director, is a part of this too. She's going to be speaking on a panel at this. So I think this is now my number one D23 event that I'm hyped for.
Yeah. So if you are heading out to Anaheim Convention Center this September, it's running the 9th through the 11th. And you are going to be able to check out props ranging from the carousel horse that was used in Mary Poppins, the Flynn's arcade logo from Tron, Breathless Mahoney, Madonna's dress from Dick Tracy, and even a vintage Mickey Mouse wooden doll going all the way back to the early days of merchandising. As you mentioned, the big exhibit is going to be the restored Grumman Gulfstream 1 airplane that Walt Disney used to personally survey what would become Walt Disney World. They've restored it. They've got a customized instrument panel, a telephone handset that was actually used by Walt. Some really neat artifacts bringing that plane, which was left to rot out behind Disney MGM Studios for many decades.
Yes.
Great to see that back together. And they're also going to be doing a tribute to the Main Street Electrical Parade and lots of other presentations with a lot of great people from Disney history, all part of this big event.
Yes, I love this kind of now mainstream interest in the archives, because I feel like prop culture on Disney Plus was a big part of getting maybe few people weren't
Mhm.
into this super niche thing. Now a lot of people are into it, and I'm glad that this exhibit and just this event taking place at D23 is gonna, be a reflection of that kind of renewed interest in the amazing stuff that the archives have.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where, Disney and Hollywood in general just threw away stuff.
Yep.
They're like, all right, we don't need this junk anymore. Just get rid of it. And a lot of history over the years got tossed. So it's great that they really take their legacy seriously, and that they give fans an opportunity to see some of it. If you are interested in attending this event, single day tickets for September 11th, I believe, are still available for $99 per person, and there's a discount if you're a gold member. But the 3-day tickets and the single day tickets for the 10th are all gone. So if you're still interested in this, you better jump on it now and see if you've still got that opportunity. In other Disney news, Shanghai Disneyland Hotel and Disney Town are finally ready. They have reopened as of June 16th. So you can once again shop and dine around Shanghai Disneyland. But however, the park still remains closed.
Absolutely. And there's no real update on that. It's just hopefully soon. But if you are getting a little bit of an itch, at least you can go make reservations at the Disneyland Hotel there. You can visit Disney Town, but there's no park.
Yep. They're going to have limited operating hours at Disney Town. It's only 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The Disney store, World of Disney store they have there, is going to be 9 to 7. And the parking lot stays open a little later. They are also currently accepting reservations for the hotel. Obviously, you can't go into the park, but they are going to have a couple restaurants open, even though the pool and the fitness center and other facilities are going to remain closed. Good news is, if you happen to be an annual pass holder out there, they're going to let you use your birthday benefits later in the year up until September if this period falls in your birthday. But obviously, this is not a time for Americans to start booking trips over in Shanghai. Make sure before you plan any travel, that you check out all of their safety and health regulations. And if you need more information about that, go visit ShanghaiDisneyResort.com. All right, in more domestic Disney news, if you want to see Harmonious, the nighttime show at Epcot, but you can't make it to the park right now, you're in luck, because Disney Plus is going to be live streaming a performance of Harmonious on June 21st.
Yes, I love when they do the live streams. They really do put a lot of care and effort, and it's real production. So this is a great way to bring a little bit of the Disney magic home. And that's going to be June 21st at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern. And they've enlisted some A-list talent to be a part of it. So Idina Menzel, obviously Tony Award-winning performer, Broadway legend, Frozen, and she's going to be making a special guest appearance during this, tied to World Music Day.
Yeah, and not only that, but she's going to be performing a special medley of classic Disney music, and it's all performed by a live orchestra. I don't know if that is referring to the soundtrack recording of Harmonious itself, or if they're actually going to have a live orchestra there on site on the 21st. So I guess I'm going to have to tune in to figure that out. But you will definitely get the best seat of the house. It'll be a multi-camera shoot in high definition, so it will probably be a little bit better than those videos that you can find on YouTube. I think they're trying to put us vloggers out of business. But if you miss the live stream, you will be able to tune in anytime if you are a US or Canada subscriber to Disney Plus, and be able to call up Harmonious anytime you want.
Yes, I love this, because that's my favorite part about staying in a Disney resort, is being able to put the fireworks on the TV whenever you want. So
Yes.
you could do it at home now.
Absolutely. So yeah, check that out. June 21st on Disney+. Next up, we've got 2 stories about how the Minions from Despicable Me are taking over Hollywood. And that's not just Universal Studios Hollywood, but that is all of Hollywood, California. It's happening from June 24th through the 26th with Minion-worthy events and a fan premiere of the new movie Minions: The Rise of Gru taking over Hollywood. Ahead of the movie coming out on July 1st.
Yes, and they've really gone all out. There are so many events happening at so many like iconic Los Angeles venues.
Mhm.
So when I read this, I was very impressed. I mean, they're really going all out for this film.
Yeah, so it's going to kick off in Hollywood on June 24th in front of the world famous TCL Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. Minion Bob is going to get his hands and feet immortalized in cement, just like a real star. Steve Carell, some guy from The Office
Right.
and whatever, he'll be there too, but he's not the big deal. It's all about Minion Bob. And they're also going to transform Milk Studios Los Angeles into a skate experience, so you can go roller skating with the Minions while the RZA plays a DJ set. I don't even know how to wrap my brain around that. But if you survive that on June 25th, the Minions are taking over the Ovation Hollywood Entertainment Complex for an immersive 1970s pop-up record store called Despicable Discs, and you can buy an album from artists who contributed to the movie soundtrack for just $5. But better pre-register for that one because that one's going to be packed, I am sure. Yeah, go check out despicablediscs.com if you want to register to participate in that. And then on the 25th, they're going to have the world premiere of the film at the Chinese Theater, red carpets, screenings of the film in 4 theaters at once, the whole 9 yards, invitation-only receptions, a Minion-themed arcade. They are going all out to promote this thing. So yeah, if you are looking forward to seeing Minions: Rise of Gru, Hollywood is obviously the place to see this one.
Yes, I mean they are leaning hard into the film's storyline, which is it's an origin story of Gru. And so he was in the 70s, he was 12 years old, and then we're going to discover how he met the Minions.
Yes, yeah, the first Minions prequel film kind of ended with a little tease of seeing young Gru for the first time, and now we kind of get the whole development of their relationship because I just could not appreciate the original Despicable Me films without having more backstory.
Right.
And John gives Bob a Minion. Yes, Bob the Minion is a real star, John. Yes, absolutely, I agree. But if that is not enough for you, there is even more Minion madness coming to Universal Studios Hollywood. They are taking over the theme park from June 27th all the way through July 17th. You're going to be able to meet the newest Minion, Otto, along with Jerry and Dave. I'm not sure where Bob is. I guess he's too big a star now.
Busy.
He can't even come hang into the theme park. You can ride the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem ride. And all the way through August 14th, there's going to be what they call a Minion activation with exclusive experiences like a 16-foot long Minion squishy. I think that's kind of like a blow-up bounce house kind of thing.
Yes.
And special Minion-themed games, all sorts of Minion activities to make you want to go see Minions: Rise of Gru in a movie theater over and over and over again.
Yes, this is great. I love the activations they do there for movies, video game releases. They really go all out at Universal Hollywood. So this looks really fun.
Yes, so all kicking off on June 27th next week. So make your plans. Just I would not bring a banana because that could end badly. Careful. All right, moving away from Universal, let's head over to SeaWorld San Diego, where they have just opened 5 new restaurants and bars to satisfy your hunger and thirst while visiting the park.
Yes, they are definitely having a bit of a glow up. SeaWorld San Diego. They nailed Hollow Scream last year, doing their first ever haunt event. And now they are adding all these new incredible restaurants and bars, which is much needed because it is a pretty large park, and it was kind of limited to what you could get. And I think what everyone's going to be excited about is the Manta Pizza theme,
Yes.
the best roller coaster there. And it's going to be handcrafted pizzas, and you can eat it in the shadow of the Manta roller coaster. They're going to have traditional pizzas from cheese and pepperoni to margaritas to kid selections like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I am especially impressed on this picture. The size, it's a pretty healthy size pie for a theme
Right.
park pizza, and it seems to be served on this giant wooden platform. It definitely makes an Instagram worthy impression for
Let's hope
sure.
that wasn't just for the promo
Yeah,
images.
let's hope. But if you're not into pizza, if you're thinking a little bit more modern Mexican, his Bisco is serving bowls with carne asada, pork, chicken. The one I'm excited about is the Impossible plant-based chorizo bowl.
Ooh.
And they also have a power green bowl. So, sometimes you don't want all that heavy, protein when you're going around riding roller coasters. You want something a little bit lighter. And I am definitely going to be ordering a side order of street corn because that's
Yes.
always one of my favorites.
And you're in
And
California, so you have to have Mexican
absolutely.
food.
And if you need something to wash it down, High Tide Brews is a new tap room serving local craft California beers. And they have a pretty good deal. You can get a sampler flight during happy hour each Friday from 4 to 7, only $2 for 5-ounce sampler beer flights. That is a pretty good, darn good deal.
Right. And because theme park happy hours are few and far between.
I know,
Not-
Universal used to have so many of them, and they have all disappeared. I mourn the death of the theme park happy hour.
Yes. So now it's really like the only place is Disney Springs that does happy
Yeah,
hours. And I don't want to go there. I want to be in a theme park. So now I'm going to have
absolutely.
to go to SeaWorld San Diego and get some of that. And they're doing an underwater cantina, which I'm really excited about just based on the name. And there's going to be kind of some really cool mixed cocktails, so a little bit of craft cocktail action. And one of them is a mermaid margarita.
Ooh,
I
I
don't know
wonder
what that is, but I
wonder if it
want
has a tail. Well, and if all that leaves you hungry for dessert, Dryer's Ice Cream has its own ice cream parlor in the park now. You can get a chocolate brownie sundae. You get hand-dipped ice cream cones, all of your ice cream favorites. And this is all opening up just in time for Electric Ocean, their big nighttime celebration, which is running through August 14th. So if you're interested in any of this, check out SeaWorldSanDiego.com or go talk to our friends at Destination with Character Travel. So this is another new one. Opening up in Las Vegas, Perception Las Vegas Digital Art Museum is premiering Leonardo, the Universal Man. Now, these kind of digital art galleries became really popular in the last couple of years with the Van Gogh Immersive Exposition. I'm totally mispronouncing. Exhibition. Thank you. I can speak. That was the one that kind of kicked off this trend. And now the brand new Perception Las Vegas Museum, which is right across the street from Circus Circus and the new Resorts World, right there on the Las Vegas Strip, will immerse you in 3 different galleries, bringing Leonardo da Vinci's artwork to life.
Yeah, this is interesting. Like you said, the trend started a few years ago. There's all these kind of now permanent installments being opening venues all across America in major cities where they could switch out to different exhibits. I'm not sure. This looks really cool. I mean, the Van Gogh one was awesome. And this definitely looks kind of next level the way it's super immersive. It's very tall ceilings, so you're going to feel like you're sucked into the world. And it's also learning, so I guess it's that edutainment factor.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to get to start off in the Grand Salon, which is, like you said, really tall, 28 feet tall video projections. And you'll be surrounded by Leonardo's drawings. It will kind of walk you through his life and his work over the course of 35 minutes. Everything from his flying machine to his cathedrals. And then you get to experience a recreation of his famous painting, The Last Supper, created with surround sound LED walls. And then finally, there is a experience with the famous Mona Lisa, where you see 6 different versions of that famous painting accompanied with original music. So, for art fans or architecture fans, if you're into learning about Leonardo da Vinci, it sounds really interesting opportunity.
Yep.
And it's not that expensive compared to some of these similar things. The tickets start at under $30 if you're a local, under 35 if you're general admission. So perceptionlasvegas.com is the place to check that out. It had not yet opened when I was just in Las Vegas recently. I did check out a very similar attraction like this, and they're kind of neat. I
Yeah.
recommend, if you're going to do one of these things, sometimes during the day they're really quiet, and then at night they get busier and they have people drinking and talking. I would say one of these things is really best earlier in the day, when you can be kind of quiet and contemplative. When they get crowded and busy, you kind of lose a lot of the effect.
Right. I mean, like the first room is a 35-minute film. I
Yeah.
feel like you need to be paying attention.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, if you're in Vegas, check this out and let us know what you think of it. All right, and for the last bit of news in the queue, good news for good news for fans of Planet of the Apes, because Marvel Comics is planning to publish new Planet of the Apes stories. Planet of the Apes obviously is one of the intellectual properties that Disney bought when they took control of Fox. And now Marvel, which has published many Planet of the Apes stories over the years, is going back into it with a brand new series that will start in early 2023.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I mean, it's always been something I've always enjoyed the original films, and there's so much you could do with it now.
hmm Yeah, absolutely. The original Planet of the Apes comic books started being published way back in 1974. They actually did a full color adaptation of the movies back in 75. And so it'll be interesting to see how they can, go back and take that idea and refresh it and revive it for a new generation. They haven't released any details, whether it's going to be all brand new stuff or maybe we'll get some reprints of some older stuff. But stay tuned. They'll be sharing that at a later date at marvel.com. Okay, well, that about wraps up the news in the queue for this time. Before we jump into our main attraction, though, it's time for us to hear a very quick word from our sponsor.
Here at Destinations with Character Travel, we offer the best experience with your travels. Need to visit the thrilling Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World? Maybe lounge about on a Disney cruise or any other major cruise line? No problem. So if you're looking for a stress and hassle-free vacation, visit us at www.destinationswithcharacter.com. Contact us today and let us plan a magical vacation for you and your family.
It's time for the main attraction.
All right, for this week's main attraction, Halloween Time is coming back to the Disneyland Resort starting on September 2nd with seasonal decor, holiday celebrations, attraction overlays, and most importantly, the separately ticketed after-hours Oogie Boogie Bash coming back to Disney California Adventure.
Yes, I am so excited. This was one of my favorite times at Disneyland, always. Last year, it was amazing. And I love that there's so many different elements. You have the Halloween time, you have Dia de las Muertas. There is a lot going on. And most of it, besides Oogie Boogie, is included in your regular admission. So it's like you have all these little mini festivals that are a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a lot of people, Christmas is the most special time at Disneyland, but for me, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
From the decor to the special costumes that the characters wear, and I love the attraction overlays that they do. I know that uh, the Haunted Mansion holiday is controversial with some people. Obviously, I'm not taking anything away from the original Haunted Mansion, but as a kid of the 80s, growing up with Tim Burton, I just love Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think they do such a fantastic job bringing Jack Skellington into the Haunted Mansion. I love seeing what they do with the gingerbread house every year.
Yes, that is one of my favorite parts. It is, I ride over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Truly.
And over in California Adventure, they redecorate Radiator Springs with special costumes for the cars and special lights. But my favorite part over at California Adventure is when they bring Monsters After Dark to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yes. This is the best. And once you hear the song, you will not stop singing it. And it's really cool. I love
It's got Baby Groot.
It's
And
so
there's
good.
nothing cuter than Baby Groot
Right.
trying to escape certain death.
And it's just amazing how they transition it to that in the afternoon. So I always go and line up for a half hour early just so I can be one of the first people when they change over to Monsters.
Because the cast members really get into it. The cast members, they even kind of change their costumes, the lighting and the queue changes, and the cast members get really anxious. And, it's really a great transformation and a lot of fun. And something on a little less spooky level over in California Adventure, Plaza de Familia is coming back with Dia de los Muertos. They will have the Coco Street celebration with the big marionette and the songs, which is a really great little show. And I always love the Dia de los Muertos display that they do in Frontierland near Rancho Zocalo with the skeletons and the flowers. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Another great part of the celebration in Disneyland Park is Halloween Screams. That's probably my favorite of their seasonal fireworks shows. It's got that giant balloon that they project Jack Skellington's face onto for the narration, and they're going to be running that fireworks show for regular guests from September 2nd all the way through October 1st on every night, weekdays and weekends. So that's great news. You don't have to buy a separate hard ticket to see that fireworks show.
Yeah, that is amazing. And again, like you said, it's included. I think on the weekends they just do the fireworks portion, but that's okay because the projection part is my favorite part. So
yeah, and you can see those projections. Obviously, you can see them on the castle, but you can also see them in front of It's a Small World. That's actually a great spot, usually a lot less crowded, to get a good view of the projections. And something that they've added this year, Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit is coming to the Downtown Disney District. This is very similar to the scavenger hunts that they do in Epcot. You get a game board and some stickers for $10 at select merchandise locations. And once you find all the hidden pumpkins, you can turn in the game board. Hint, you can turn it in even if you don't find them all. And you get a nice little prize at the end. So that's a fun thing to do.
Oh, yeah. And of course, Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah, we can't forget that this is obviously the big deal. This is the hard ticket event that's going to happen on 23 nights between September 6th and October 31st. And there is a lot of stuff going on in Oogie Boogie Bash. But before we talk about what is there, we should mention the one thing that is not listed this year is World of Color Villainous. Back in 2019, they put together a special version of World of Color, which I really enjoyed. It only ran for that one season before the coronavirus hit, and they have not brought that back yet. I'm not really sure why, because that really, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of great stuff at this party, but without World of Color, I'm not sure it's worth what they're charging now for a ticket, especially on the most expensive nights.
See, I will say, so I went last year to opening night. I think it was the best Disney hard ticket event I've ever been to.
Wow.
It was so good. And I think So they do the parade, the Frightfully Fun
Yeah.
parade, which is
Well,
amazing.
let's talk about the parade because that is one of their best parades.
Right. They do it 2 times throughout the night. So
Mhm.
I think it would be really difficult to do World of Color in there with all the people that wait for a good spot for the Frightfully Fun parade.
Yeah, I mean, especially since, as I remember, when I was there in 2019 for World of Color, they weren't using, virtual boarding or anything like that. It was just first come, first serve,
Right.
and it wound up. It did take a big chunk of my night. There was stuff I didn't get to see because I saw World of Color, and if you saw the second World of Color, by the time the show was over, the party was over. So maybe that's part of the reason. But
Yeah.
the parade, which is led off by the Headless Horseman, definitely want to get a spot early for that parade because you don't want to miss the beginning of that. My favorite part when I went in 2019, though, was Villains Grove. They take the Redwood
Yes.
Creek Challenge Trail, and it's sort of like a haunted house with no scares. It's
Mhm.
just atmospheric light and sound and hints of the villains. You don't actually see characters walking around, but you sort of feel their presence. And I was skeptical before I did it, but I thought it was just one of the most wonderful, immersive, atmospheric things that I'd done
Right.
there.
It's beautiful, which is crazy because
Mhm.
we're talking about all those immersive light experiences. That's what it is, but the way they do it, even though it is spooky, it's
Mhm.
just it's magical, and I think with that is a very popular, part of the event, and it doesn't start because it needs to be dark out, so it doesn't start when the event starts.
Right.
So you kinda have to time your night also to make sure I like to be, like, one of the first people to do it, because the line gets super long for that.
Exactly. Yeah, that was one of those things that I would recommend either being the first there or wait until the very, very end of the night and, get in just before closing time and let them kick you out.
Yes.
Um, but and the other thing, you don't want to miss out on are the trick or treat trails. They have candy trails, and they're usually hosted by a character who kind of heckles you while you're waiting in line for your treats.
Yes.
Lots of photo ops, merchandise. The specialty food is out of control. You could probably go and just spend the whole night waiting in line for specialty cupcakes. So a lot of stuff. It's very popular. So if you want to attend this on June 28th, you're going to be wanting to be online and ready to go when these go on sale at 9 a.m. Pacific time on June 28th. These are going to sell out. There's going to be a pre-sale if you're a Magic Key holder or a member of D23. And actually, very interesting. The price, obviously, like everything, the price has gone up this year.
Yep.
The cheapest nights start around 129. Most expensive nights are 179, which is even more expensive than a day ticket. And I thought it was interesting. They are having an exclusive one night for D23 members. And that's night they're charging the most. So
Right.
being
So I'm
D23
gonna
doesn't get you a nice discount.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try for that. So
Okay.
it is last year it took me 4 hours to get through, so I
Yeah.
will be trying for the D23 night.
The online ticketing system is always gets slammed when these things go online. You're gonna stare at that little, sometimes it's a Millennium Falcon or whatever that's trying to creep its way across. Yeah, have some patience. Take a Xanax or two because
Right.
it is a stressful experience just getting tickets for this.
But it
Um,
is worth it. It is
yeah,
so worth it. So if you can go, go.
yeah. So the pre-sale on June 28th. Uh, June 30th, if you're the general public to try to buy a ticket, um, go to Disneyland.com and read up on all the details, the guidelines before you plop down that money. But I am always in a tough position with these hard ticket events when recommending to the average person who is not, if you are a Disneyland annual pass holder or person who goes to Disneyland frequently, um, and you want something new and different, I 100% recommend these. These are great. But if you are a tourist who's making a once in a lifetime trip to Disneyland while one of these events is going on, it's tough to necessarily recommend doing one of these on a price performance basis unless you take advantage of everything. And that means showing up 3 hours before the party starts, because you get that free entry 3 hours earlier. To get your money's worth of these parties, you really got to take advantage of that. You got to take advantage of everything it has to offer to
You have
really
to
get your money's worth.
plan. You
You
re
have
you
to plan. Actually, you need a plan of attack. You got to know what you're interested in, because these things get crowded, and the things that are popular at them get really long. People wait 2 hours to take a picture with a rare character.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the one piece of advice I give is, if you're a tourist, you're there at Disneyland on vacation, and one of these events is happening, I don't recommend burning a day ticket and then also using a hard ticket that same
Right.
night, because that's a really long day. That's an expensive day. If you're doing one of these events, sleep in the morning, hang out at your hotel or go shopping at downtown Disney, and then, get to the park. It's not a bad idea to line up an hour before the mix-in starts, because people will be waiting in line for the entry, and getting your wristband and everything can take a little while. So if you're going to do one of these, build your whole day around it.
Absolutely. And like last year, I literally planned I was able to do every single thing, but I had very strategic, like I picked what parade I was going to do. I
Hmm.
picked what character treat trail I was going to start at based on what I thought would be popular. I went to the first night, so
Yeah.
it was kind of a guess, but I was able to do every single thing and I felt like I got my money's worth.
Nice.
But you have to plan. You
Yeah.
need to have a plan of attack. You need to know what's going on. You may not know where everything is, but you'll be able to figure it out. But
Yeah.
if you just going in there thinking I'm going to have a great time, it might not
Yeah.
be worth the
If
cost.
if you want a low stress, low agenda night of just wandering around, go on a regular night. Don't
Yeah.
go on a hard ticket night.
Or go to
Uh,
Disneyland Park and
yeah,
enjoy all the Halloween stuff because usually it's not too crazy those nights that Oogie Boogie Bash is going on.
absolutely. I personally kind of miss having the parties in Disneyland Park itself, because obviously there's more history and nostalgia and all
Mhm.
that. But moving those crowds over to California Adventure definitely does make Disneyland a much more pleasant experience on those
Yeah.
same evenings. All right. Well, that just about wraps it up for this week. Before we go, I want to thank our sponsor, Destination with Character Travel, once again. I want to remind everyone to please go ahead and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, or leave us a rating on Spotify, because that really helps get the word out. And of course, if you want more coverage from us and Attractions Magazine on the interwebs during the week, you can find me on Twitter at the UG Series, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com. Carly, where can folks find you?
Yes, I am on Twitter at Carly Caramata and on Instagram at Adventures by Carly.
Awesome. And of course, you can find everything from Attractions Magazine at attractionsmagazine.com, on Twitter at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, and at youtube.com/Attractions Magazine. Until next week, I hope that all of you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun, and we will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.